Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports, coming up in just a few moments from right now. But we want to make sure that you are subscribed to our channel as we're bringing you daily Seattle Seahawks content. And we're in the middle of a sub-battle with Dolphins Today, trying to get to 30,000 subscribers. And I got to tell you, what we'll do on this channel, unlike what you'll see from Will Scott and the Dolphins channel, is we're actually going to be objective around here, and we're not going to be any jock-sniffing fanboys or anything like that. We'll tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear on Seahawks Today. So go ahead and subscribe now, and let's get started with today's show. On today's show, Minicamp is getting underway. I have 5 things of what to watch for from the Seahawks in Minicamp. First and foremost, DK Metcalf did not report to the first day of mandatory Minicamp. And there's a lot of interesting elements to this to look at with DK Metcalf. Let's start out with the tweet from Ian Rapoport of the NFL Network, what he put out this morning at 11:15 Pacific time, saying, sources, Seahawks star wide receiver DK Metcalf is not present for mandatory minicamp. As contract talks have not yet resulted in a new deal, he continues to rehab his injury in L.A. So, there's a few elements to break down with that from Rap Sheet there. Let's start off with the fine that's expected for Metcalf. This is what is believed to be a situation that is not excused, this absence from DK Metcalf. So that will result in about a $16,000 fine, and if he misses all of minicamp, that'll be just under $96,000 that he would be fined. Now, as far as the contract situation goes, everything that we've heard from Pete Carroll and John Schneider at this point is that they plan to extend DK Metcalf. They've said all the right things, that they're not interested in trading him, that they want to bring him back and get him the money that he is owed as he enters a contract year with the Seahawks. And rehabbing this foot injury, he's out in L.A. right now. What I would look at to keep in mind with this excused absence situation, the Seahawks could very well say, yeah, that's fine that you're out there in L.A. Go take care of business or do your rehabbing up here. That has not been the case. They did not clear him to miss minicamp and recover from this injury. So that is very interesting here, that this is really the first statement of sorts from DK Metcalf about being upset with his contract. We really haven't heard anything, and now when you miss minicamp, it's a holdout, one way or the other. This is officially a holdout situation now for DK Metcalf. So, with that being said, what is your concern level right now with DK Metcalf not being around for minicamp for this Seahawks team? Let me know in the comment section. Type Y for yes, type N for no if you are concerned about DK not being there. This is our pinned comment today. You're about to get an ad break. Take advantage of it while that ad's playing. Get your votes in. Y for yes, N for no if you are concerned at all with DK not showing up. So now the next question, number 2 on our countdown today, who is showing up? Well, let's go back to OTAs. And the no-shows for the Seahawks included Al Woods, Gabe Jackson, and Quentin Jefferson. Now, Pete Carroll, when he was asked about those guys not showing up to OTAs, he had said that he expected all of them to be back in time for minicamp. So that remains to be seen. Now, the injury front, Metcalf, we mentioned with the foot surgery that he went through this offseason. You also have Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs also recovering from offseason surgeries as well. Adams with the shoulder, Diggs with the fibula, and the ankle situation there for those guys. So while we expect Adams and Diggs to be in the building, probably not going to be full-on participants when it comes to minicamp for both those guys at this point. Number 3 on the countdown today, the quarterback battle is really underway at this point. I know that there's still a long ways to go before we see these guys in full-on mode when it comes to what they'll do with competing for this competition when we get to practices and training camp and such. But right now, where things stand, this is fully underway with seeing the back and forth of those guys already sharing first-team reps. In the way that Drew Lock performed in OTAs, what we heard previously was that Drew Lock looked really good, that he impressed coaches with how he did in 7-on-7s. Geno Smith the reports were that he didn't look bad, but he didn't look good as Drew Lock. So already an early edge at this point, it would seem, for Drew Lock when it comes to this quarterback competition based on what he did in OTAs. Now the quarterback battle fully on at this point. So what is one word that you would use to describe this quarterback battle in Seattle? I'll give you my one word in just a moment, but I want to hear directly from you guys first. Give me one word to describe this quarterback competition for the Seahawks. My one word is manifest. And you may be saying to yourself, Tyler, manifest, that's a big word. I don't know what that means. Manifest, to display, show, get that appearance going, demonstrate what you got. This is your manifest moment if you are Drew Lock or Geno Smith, put up or shut up time. I know that the competition is not going to be settled now in minicamp, but it is a chance to stand out. Look, Geno Smith knows this system. He's been here a year. Drew Lock already had a good OTAs. Now, can you separate yourself a little bit? Can you get that little edge on the other guy? And also, can you show that you are good enough where they don't need to make a move for a quarterback? Could you prove yourself? Could you manifest and show to Seahawks management that they don't need to bring in a Baker Mayfield or a veteran quarterback? This is a chance to prove it if you're Geno Smith or Drew Lock at this point in time. Seahawks Today is presented by Chat Sports. Our main channel is closing in on 300,000 subscribers as we cover the NFL 24/7, 365 days a year, as well as the NBA and college football. Subscribe now. You will not regret it. Our team is doing fantastic work each and every day covering the National Football League. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Subscribe now. Help us get to that 300,000 subscriber mark that we are closing in on. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Another thing to watch is the rookie progress for this Seahawks team. 9 rookies drafted in the 2022 NFL Draft by the Seahawks, and in particular, the tackle position is something to watch for. Not only with Charles Cross, who the Seahawks selected with their number 9 pick at the left tackle spot, but then also at the right tackle spot with Abraham Lucas, who they picked up in the 3rd round. It is already competing to start at that right tackle spot. Let's listen to Shane Waldron, what he had to say, the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks, on these rookie tackles. He said, if it's the 2 rookies, that means that they've beat out some guys that are good players in their own right. So we have a lot of competition at those tackle positions. The draft obviously has taken that competition to a different level as far as younger guys that are competing against each other. So with that, here is the Seahawks offensive line depth chart at this point in time. Charles Cross, look, you don't spend a top 10 pick on a left tackle and not have him start from day one. He will be starting at left tackle. That's not a competition there. But at that right tackle spot, Jake Caron and Abraham Lucas battling back and forth for this position here. I would love to see if Lucas can find a way to get to that tackle spot. If he can compete and win this job, then all of a sudden you have an opportunity to have your starting left and right tackle for many years to come if Lucas can prove that he's capable of being that guy right now. You look at the scouting report. You go all the way back to the draft and what our team had to say about Abraham Lucas, a guy that has left tackle traits at that right tackle spot. Athletic with some mirroring abilities, better in pass protection than the run game. And to me, that's where it's interesting when you line up Lucas with Cross together, is that they both come from similar systems. Lucas, a pass-heavy offense at Washington State. Cross with a pass-heavy offense at Mississippi State. They can go through this together, essentially. This learning process of becoming starting tackles in the National Football League. They can learn this process as a collective unit. I like to see these two of what they could potentially do to break out and be the starting tackles for this Seahawks team for a very long time. The number 5 thing I'm watching for the Seahawks when it comes to minicamp is Dee Eskridge. Now, we already heard that he had a bit of a breakout when it came to OTAs. But will he continue this throughout the summer and have a breakout season? I have more on Dee Eskridge in just a moment as we go through the summer of Eskridge. I am willing to pass that along as a Summer of Jones captain. I will give that title to Dee Eskridge as well. He could be a part of that as far as I'm concerned. But with that said, I want to hear from you guys. Will this continue for Dee Eskridge into the season? Will he have a breakout year in 2022? Type B for breakout, type P for pass. If you think this is going to be a big one for Dee Eskridge in 2022. B for breakout, P for pass. Now, here's with Eskridge. Let's go ahead and run through this. At OTAs, he said that he's feeling powerful and more comfortable. He missed 7 games last year with a foot injury, and as a result, only had about 10 catches in 2021, and he's expected to compete for that number 3 wide receiver spot behind DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett this year. More from Shane Waldron, the Seahawks offensive coordinator, on Dee Eskridge. Just a week or so ago, here's what he had to say. He looks impressive. He looks like he always did in our evaluation of him coming out when he's got that fast switchability in the routes. He's got a good toughness in the run game, and so he's really a guy that's going into year 2 with a lot of room to grow just based on some unfortunate circumstances. And that's absolutely right. When you look at Dee Eskridge of what happened in 2021, it was out of his control. Week 1, might I add you, when Dee Eskridge went down last year. So you give him time, a summer to adapt and really soak in this offense. I got high expectations for him too. He could be a really good player for this Seahawks team this year and really cement himself as the number 3 receiver on this Seahawks roster. Seahawks Today, bringing you coverage each and every day right here on the channel. Make sure you are subscribed so you never miss a moment of Seahawks Today. Help us reach 30,000 subscribers now. I'll give you that Gatorade bath that I promised once we get there. We got to get there first. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV.